So hello guys, welcome back to our channel, and this is lecture number 5 of our React Mastery course. And in this lecture we are gonna learn about props. So props is one of the most important things in React. So in this lecture we are gonna understand that. So first of all, let me delete all this previous stuff. First we will delete this and we will return input. Okay, so now suppose that if we are doing HTML and if we want to use this input for numbers only, then if we are in HTML, then what should we do? So let me show you that by an example. mdn docs. So here is the result. As you can see it, if we were doing in HTML and we want to use this input for numbers only, then we would use this syntax. We would type input type is equal to number, and if we want to do that thing for React, we can also do the same. So let us check that. We will type here type is equal to number, and if we run this code, then as you can see that it is now taking numbers only, and there is decrease option and increase option. This is located by default in our browser. So this is somewhat same as the attributes we learned in HTML. So let us understand with the help of a slide. So as you can see, this is props, and props is somewhat similar to the attribute we have in HTML. So as you can see, this is input of type number and min value and max value of 10, and these values of numbers are wrapped between curly braces. So as you can see there in the prop, this type is the name of property you want to customize, and the value for property is number. And the main point of difference between props and attribute is that props can refer to the variable of JavaScript by the help of curly braces. So let us check this. So let us type here input type is equal to number and min value is equal to 5. So now if we instead of number directly number, what we will do, we will first use curly braces, and then inside the curly braces we will type input type and then min is equal to min value. And if we run this code, you can see here it is an error. Okay, so what is the error? Is that I forgot to use const here. So let us fix that. Const, sometimes it happens, and now you can see that it does not goes below 5 and the code works fine. Okay, so one thing I want to mention is that props don't have to be always defined as variables. This means that we can also use them directly inside our input types. So that as you can see here, instead of using a variable, we have typed this directly, like type is equal to number and min value is equal to 5. So one thing I wanted to mention here, which is very important, that whenever we are using a string as a prop, we need to make sure that string is encoded between double quotes, otherwise it will not run. And whenever we are using an integer, we want to make sure that it is between curly braces, otherwise the React will instantly show an error, like you can see this in this example. So let me show you that. Suppose if we use this, let me first delete these two, and now if we use min is equal to 5, you can see there is a red line there, which means something is wrong and there is an error. And in the same case, if we use type is equal to number without double strings, you can see that there is a red line which clearly indicates that there is an some error. So our coded editor will remind us of that, and it's better that if we use curly braces and double quotes to encode numbers and strings. So now we run this code, it is runs perfectly fine, just as before. Now, the also one point of difference between props and attributes is that you can define arrays and objects as attribute. As you can see there, that here we can define array inside the curly braces, and we can also use object inside curly braces. So now you might be wondering that why there are two curly braces. So the outer one is for JSX and the inner one is for object. So in this way we can use arrays, numbers, strings and JavaScript variable inside these props. So let me show you this by an example. Suppose if we want to use style is equal to and is equal to, let us say if we want to use color border is equal to, and now we will write 2 pixel solid red, and if we run this, now you can see that our input has got a border of 2 pixel solid red. So this is how it works. And now you also might be wondering that previously in the early lectures I mentioned that we can't use objects in JSX. So now how we are able to do that? So that thing is that we can't display an object. That doesn't work. So in this case here, I am trying to display object on our screens. So that is why it will show us error. But in the second case, input ABC is equal to config. In this case, we are defining objects as props. So defining object as prop is completely fine and we can do that. But we can't display object in JSX. So that was the last thing I want to mention. And with this, we have the content of this lecture completed, and in the next lecture we will discuss and learn more things about props. So guys, this was all for today. See you in the next lecture. Thanks for watching.